just wait for my live stream to kick in because it's saying I'm not on yet. So I can see that there is a comment from Yasmita saying, what book are you using? So this is an Etsy PDF. I'm just going to wait a few seconds because it's still not coming up that I'm live, so I don't want to talk before you're seeing what I'm saying. Let's just check if it's coming up. Can anyone hear me so far? Because my phone isn't doing that. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Right, so hi everyone. I hope you've all had a good week. I'm just going to read through some of the comments before I start. So Yasmita wants to know the book that I'm using, and it's this one. So it's Whimsy Girls Around the World. Hang on a sec, my live has stopped again. I don't know what's going on with this. Just let me know if you can hear me. Let me look on my iPad at the chat. Oh yeah, everyone can hear me, so I don't know what's going on my end. Yeah, so the book that I'm using is The Whimsy Girls Around the World by Hannah Lynn, and it's one that I bought from Etsy and printed off. So I'm still not seeing any chat. That's really annoying. Let me go off it again. I'm just going to go off the whole app, I think, and start again so that I can see what you're all saying. There we are. Got ya. Fabulous. So let me just go through the chat then. Jenny's no longer got white hair. Oh my gosh, why'd you dye it? Paula says, just playing with Neo Colour 2s. Hope you all had a good week. Can't believe it's Tuesday. I know, doesn't it go round dead fast? Like, I usually forget when my live is until the actual day, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going live. Kathleen's lurking. Hi, Kathleen. And then you've replied. Okay, right, well, my screen is frozen, so I don't know. I'm hoping that your chat will still come up, but anyways, before I start, I just wanted to do a shout out to Sarah, who sent me some lovely Happy Mail this week. She sent me a whole tin of Crawford and Black colouring pencils, and I can't wait to try them out. I'm going to do them on a proper video so that we can give them a good looking at, see how they perform and stuff like that. But I just wanted to thank Sarah for that. She also sent me this handmade pencil case. It's so good. It's like something you would literally buy in a shop. It's so nice, and she's made that all by herself, and I think it's brilliant. So thank you very much, Sarah, for that. I'm still not getting up-to-date chat on this. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I hope you've all had a good week. And we're going to continue tonight with our Grecian Beauty page. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to concentrate a little bit on the background and then possibly do the toga as well. So the background colours that I'm going to be using are colours that I learnt a while ago from an old Kit and Clowder tutorial. I don't know whether any of you must have heard of Kit and Clowder. Lovely Australian lady called Alice, and she does fantastic tutorials. And this one was on one of her Hula Girl, I think it was, tutorials. And I've just had a look at that again, and I thought we would do that background. So, like I said, I'm not getting up-to-date chat on this for some reason. Hopefully that will sort itself out. Let me just check the iPad. Live chat. I'm still not getting anything. Oh, here we go. So I can see your messages up on the chat on the iPad, but I can't see them on my phone. So I keep having to like stand up and let me try again. Right, there we go. I might have to do that a few times, it looks like. I don't know why it's playing up. I might take the Wi-Fi off and see if that helps. Hi Brittany. Hi Em. Sharon's got 3 tins, good on Nina cardstock but not on smooth paper. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of coloured pencils aren't very good on the smooth pencils. Hi Sass. So hopefully these comments will update now I've taken the Wi-Fi off. So here's the page as it looks in natural lighting. It is 7 o'clock at night in the UK, but it is still quite light. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like in natural light before we begin, because as you know, as soon as I put the light on, it kind of goes all yellow. But anyways, so yeah, what I'm going to do after this video is put the link for this particular Kit and Clowder class, try saying that when you're drunk, that I'm going to be taking the background from today, so that you can all go and have a look, and if you wanted to purchase that class, you can do that if you want to. This isn't an ad or anything, I was thinking of what kind of background we could do, and this blend is really, really nice. So let's get on with it then. As you know, I'm using Prismacolor, and the pencils that have come up on this particular tutorial was Imperial Violet PC 1007, Blue Violet Lake PC 1079, Lilac PC 956. Now this is a discontinued colour, but I'm guessing that most of you with Prismas will have this colour because it's not long been discontinued. We've got Pink PC 929. Hi Amy, hi Suzanne. We've got Orange PC 918, Yellowed Orange PC 1002, Sunburst Yellow PC 917, and Canary Yellow PC 916. We also have the white pencil. So I'm going to put all these back in order so I don't get mixed up. And then we're going to start. So on this particular illustration, we do have some clouds already penciled in. Now, if you're following along on the simpler version, you won't have those clouds because it's kind of a closer image and a lot of the detail is missing because it's like a simple version. We're doing the slightly more advanced version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight into the tutorial. And again, if you wanted to see the origins of this, the inspiration for this, it's come from Kit and Clowder, and I will put that link in the description after the video so you can have a look, just so that everyone's got full credit. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is take the Yellowed Orange, and just on these clouds, I should zoom you in, shouldn't I? Might help. There we go. So just on these clouds, I'm going to put some Yellowed Orange along the base of the cloud. Now, I haven't tried this yet. As I said, this was from an old class that I got ages ago. And I haven't given this a go. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do anywhere near as good of a job as Alice, but we will see. Put a little bit of this colour in these dips of the clouds. And we're going to do that for all of them. So all along the base. There's no base there, so I'm just going to do the bottom of this cloud. And then across here as well. See, these pillars are kind of in the way, so we're not having to colour an awful lot of space on this background, so hopefully it'll work out quite well. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better, Suzanne. I know you had to cancel your live, didn't you, because you weren't very well. I'm glad you're better. So across the bottom of this one as well. Where else? This one. This technique may have worked better on a background that had, you know, a more full sky. Jeanette's half watching and half watercolouring some squares. Oh, fantastic. Oh, hi, Laura. Right, let me just finish off what I'm doing here then with the bases of the clouds. It's a bit hard to tell sometimes where the bases of the clouds are when they're all tiny and sort of mushed together. We mustn't forget down here as well, just in these little gaps, if you can see that, just in the gap of her arm there. And this would also be the base of a cloud, I'm guessing. And then on the tops of the clouds, just a little bit in the little dip areas. But we're really working with a very, very small area here. So I don't expect to be able to get fantastic, you know, large blends because they're so small. Yeah, the columns, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet because, like you said, they're kind of like white stone, but I think there's also cream and blue as well, like certain slate blue tones in there. I need to think about that a bit more. Let's put a bit more of this in here. And just in the little dips at the top of the clouds. Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah's in comments who sent me the lovely pencils. Really, really appreciate it. Can't wait to try them out. A little bit over here. Okay, a little bit there. I think that will do. Next up is the sunburst yellow. And we're just going to kind of blend this a bit further into the centre of the cloud. So going up from where we've just put the yellowed orange. Colouring quite lightly at the minute. I'm just blending this downward. So the centre of the cloud is going to be quite white, and it should hopefully create a glowing look on the edges of these clouds. Like I said, if you want to see this done properly and professionally, go ahead and get the class because Alice is fantastic. Does anybody else subscribe to Kitten Clouder? She's really amazing. Yeah, that's the bottom, isn't it? I'm getting a bit confused with these cloud shapes. So just blending it up. Yeah, right, Jeanette, they are different, but the sort of end result of it is absolutely gorgeous. And the colours that we're using for the sky as well, like the imperial violet into the pink, into the orange, into the yellow, it's a gorgeous combination. And I thought I just wanted something special for this, so I was like, what can I do that will be really, really nice? And I thought Alice is definitely going to have something that we can try and emulate. So has anyone been doing anything nice this week? We've had absolutely gorgeous weather here in the UK up until today. It's suddenly gone back to usual and started raining and being very dark and overcast. Did anyone see the Northern Lights at the weekend? I was absolutely gutted that I was in bed. I tend to go to bed fairly early, like 10:30, and I think the Northern Lights were showing about midnight, so I definitely missed them. Yes, I'll get you a link for that. 1 second, Jeanette. I need to try and remember what the name of the thing was. Kit and Clouder. I'm just looking for this link now. I should have done this before I came online and then I would have had it ready. I can't find it. I'll send you the link for the actual website, and it is on there somewhere in the old classes. But the actual link that I need, I can't find. So let me just put this in the chat for now. And then after this video, I'll go and look up the exact class that it is. So, just carrying on with this colour up into the clouds and then down as well, so that we're creating a white centre part of the cloud. Oh, it sounds like everyone missed them. Oh, Jeanette saw them. Oh, Amy, I started off with the yellowed orange and now I'm on to the sunburst yellow. I'm going to try and quicken up on this. People don't realise how hard it is to talk and think about what you're saying and also colour quickly. Okay, I think I've got them all. And then the next thing to do is the canary yellow. So again, we're just gradually trying to get into the centre part of the clouds, but we do want to leave some white areas. So hopefully you can see that I've blended it right inward, but we've still got the white in the centre. I'm doing the close-up page version without the clouds. I've never seen it this way. The colour is usually in the sky and I use a light grey. Exactly, so do I. That's exactly how I would do it. But I wanted something a bit special and I thought, I just don't know what to do. And I just remembered this Kit and Clouder class. And I thought that will be absolutely gorgeous on this. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll see that the clouds kind of make sense being orange. Because really, it's just like the edges of the clouds that are quite orange. And that's reflecting off this kind of sunset that we're going to be creating in the background. I did another project with your Polychromos Gold yesterday. Yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous colour, isn't it? That blend. I need a little bit more of the sunburst down here, I think. Like, I don't think I'm doing these clouds quite right, but hopefully the finished result will be all right. So a little bit of canary yellow, but leaving room in the centre. I'm just going to put little bits of sunburst yellow where I feel like I've missed bits. It's easier to see on these larger clouds, definitely. Okie doke. And then next is, just looking at my notes here, So the little dips that we did in the clouds, in the top of the clouds with the first colour yellowed orange, we're going to take some actual orange now and just define those a little bit, but not, you know, not going too mad. So just a little bit of this orange in these dips. Rose. Rose is scratching around. That's the base of the cloud. I think it's just the tops of the clouds that we're going to do this little bit of orange in. Oh, Amy, can you not rewind it? I thought you could go back on a live. I'm not sure, actually. I think I've done that before, though, on lives. But you can always rewatch at the end anyway if you've missed anything. Why have I got the noisiest dog in the world? Okay, so a little bit of this orange in the dips, but like I said, we're not going too mad with it. It's just a very slight bit. And then we want some white pencil now over the centres of the clouds. So kind of going all over the centre. I'm going to keep sort of wiping the end of my white pencil, otherwise it's going to pick up pigment and smear it everywhere. But this is just to create the softness inside the cloud so that any of our lines are going to be smoothed out and softened up. And it also creates that contrast that we need, you know, from the darker colours straight into the centre of the cloud, which is pretty much white. And keep wiping it off so that we don't drag the pigment. Hi, Cara. Yeah, I'm sure you can, Amy. I'm sure you can like do the slider across, but depending on what like device you're using, if you're watching it on the telly, I don't know as if... Mind you should still be able to rewind, like in the normal way. So we've got white in the centre of the clouds. Oh, I've forgotten about these clouds down here. I knew I was going to do that because they're so little and out of the way. So a bit more yellowed orange. And then canary yellow down there for the blend. I'm not being too sort of precious about it, just as long as we've got the general look. Okay, so now we've done that, we then use kind of like go back on ourselves and use the yellows again to redefine the colours a little bit more. So going back in with the sunburst yellow, let's start here. And just making sure that our blends are vibrant, because when you use the white pencil, it can sort of mute the colours a little bit. So to get the vibrancy back, we're going to just re-add these colours in. Hopefully you'll be able to see this quite clearly. I'll zoom you in a little bit more. These little clouds, it doesn't really matter so much, you know. Bit more orange there. Curious about the purples. Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous when it's done. Have seen the Northern Lights a long time ago driving home through Tennessee to Ohio. Oh my goodness. Sky was purple and green. I would love to see it. It's always been something I'd love to see, because I'm not really bothered about like going back to America or Spain or any of the like hot countries and the top tourist destinations. I would love to go up. I think I've said this before. I'd love to go up in the Icelandic countries and up there, you know. Have a little cabin with a big roaring fire, snow outside, and the Northern Lights. And then we can bring back the yellowed orange. Right on the edges of the clouds, make sure that they're nice and vibrant as well. And we can also use this yellowed orange to just blend out the orange a little bit, because those little bits that I put in look a little bit harsh, so we can use this to like blend them out just slightly. We do want to keep that orange in areas, but we don't want it to be too harsh. Hi Pierre, you all right? Thank you for joining. So hopefully once we've done this little bit, that will be the clouds finished and we can move on to the sky. And I'm hoping with all of you that this is going to turn out okay. Like I said, I've not even given this a practice go. Tuesday just creeps up on me every single week, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what I'm doing. Just checking over any areas, seeing that I want to blend them out. Again, we can go back over with our lighter oranges just to make sure we've got a nice smooth blend. Oh, thank you, Pierre. I've been taking my Small Victories book into my colouring club at work. Oh, you've got a colouring club? Maybe you mentioned this before, but I've got the worst memory, so don't blame me if I can't remember. Been practicing skin tones on mushrooms. Yeah, because obviously Johanna doesn't really have many skin tones, does she? I suppose the only time she's really drawn people is in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. So that's the only one of her books, I think, that you would need skin tones. So yeah, Small Victories. I don't think there's any humans in that. All right, so hopefully that's enough blending on the clouds. I'm just going to bring back a little bit of canary yellow. Amy's still on the first two colours. That's fine, take it at your own pace. I'm just trying to rush through this for the purposes of time and not taking forever on a live stream. And then once you've put your canary yellow back in, that's all your original colours on a second layer. So you shouldn't need to put any more white in or anything, because we did the smoothing with the white already. And there we go. So next up, I'm just going to look at my notes again. So we want the Imperial Violet, and we're going to start from the top down. So that's going to be our blend. Now I've just got to think how many colours. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colours that I'm going to have to fit in this space. So we want the whole gradation of the 8 colours in this kind of quite small area. So I sort of need to gauge where to put, you know, how much and how thick to put certain colours. So we're going to start with the Imperial Violet and go straight across. Am I still on camera? Yes. So light layers for now because I don't want to mess up. So let's just do a light layer across. And again, just thinking about there being room for your 8 colours. Who do you think makes the best skin tone pencils? Good question. It's hard because in any pencil set that's got like 100, 150 colours, there's going to be a huge range of pencils that you can use for skin tones. I mean, the basic ones, you know, like the one I've got here, and all different kind of skin tones you can find with the different browns and peaches and beiges in any pencil set that's fairly large. But then if you're trying to do a really professional skin tone, you're going to want like greens and blues and all kinds of things. So I think it's hard to know really, skin tones. I mean, Black Widow do their own line of skin tones, like a special line. Polychromos are really nice. But yeah, I think it's the larger sets, you're always going to be able to find some skin tones. It's just depending on what tone you want to use and the colours that are within that tone. But as long as you've got a good selection of browns, peaches, and that kind of thing, then you should be fine. What about you guys? What do you think? If you've got any advice for the best skin tones? Jenny's been running her colouring club for quite a few years apart from COVID, and it's really popular with the year 7 to 11. Oh, fantastic. I think I do remember you mentioning that now. Because of course Jenny's a teacher, and I forgot about that until you mentioned year 7s. So, I think that's as far as I'm going to go with the Imperial Violet. Again, I'm keeping the layer light at the moment so we don't go wrong. Hi Jana, hello Claire, everyone in chat. Have a couple of days off from work, so trying to catch up with the streams. It's lovely to have you, thank you for joining. So the next one is the Blue Violet Lake, which is PC 1079. And again, we're just going to do the old thing of blending this downwards. So starting from about the halfway point in the Imperial Violet, we start to layer in the Blue Violet Lake. Now I'm leaving just a little gap between the top of the cloud and where I'm putting the colour. Just this little tiny gap. And I think that's to serve the purpose of making them look a bit more glowy in these darker areas of the sky. So bringing that Blue Violet Lake down, but trying to just leave a bit of a gap. Very, very small gap, maybe 2 millimeters if that. Oh, Yana, oh, right, I'm so sorry. I'm absolutely rubbish with pronunciation and names and things, but I'll try and remember that. I do have the absolute worst memory, as I said. Luminance for skin tones, of course. Yeah, Luminance are absolutely fantastic. They've got such a good range. Like all the siennas and what's the one that I use a lot? Some of the ochres as well are absolutely gorgeous. Black Widow skin tones are sold out. Doesn't look like... Oh, that's strange. I remember hearing things about Black Widow pencils being really hard to find. Was it the Cobra set, I think, that became really difficult for people to buy? I have to talk to him about that, the guy that owns the company. I used to have a corner permanently set up in my classroom where anyone was welcome to come and de-stress. That's just fantastic. I can't tell you how much things like that are needed in schools. I mean, the kids are going through the SATs and the GCSEs and the A-levels at the moment over here. And it's all so much pressure. Like I remember when my eldest was taking his SATs and he was so nervous and worried, and, you know, it was a lot of pressure on an 11-year-old kid. So, you know, things like that, I'm sure it's much appreciated by your students. Victoria's lurking, doing a diamond painting. Oh, thank you so much for joining. Not a teacher. Oh, I thought you said you were, sorry. Not mad enough. Work in the library and do design tech, teaching assistant. Oh, yeah, okay. I can imagine it is really tiring, actually, yeah. Jeanette stopped teaching 12 years ago, so it was before it became popular. Yeah, so that was cool then. You was like early in there with the trend of like giving kids a place to go and de-stress. Sarah says she's got all the Black Widow, but when I tried to get the skin tones, they were sold out. I didn't know that was an issue going on at the moment. I should really kind of keep up with things like that, I suppose. But I'll have to find out from the guy who runs it. I've also got to make sure that I'm coming over here and putting in the colour at this side so that we don't go off with the blend. But again, I'm going very, very lightly at the moment before I decide to go in heavy and put the final layers down. So we've got Blue Violet Lake, and then the next colour after that is the Lilac. So again, just going from the centre point of the Blue Violet Lake and starting to blend in the Lilac. Bringing it down to have its own place in the colour gradient before we will then continue and move on to the next colour. So we've got a little bit over here as well that we can put the colour in. It's just trying to keep on top of all the gaps of this page, because there's like quite a lot of different gaps and things overlapping each other. So I'm going to put a little bit of that lilac there, and then yeah, I can bring a little bit down here, and hopefully we should be on the same sort of level all the way across. I think I'm just going to bring that lilac down a little bit more. And the next colour is pink. So we'll blend that into the lilac. And again, I'm really conscious of the space that we've got left, so I'm trying to cram these colours in so that we get every single one of them on the page. So I'm not going to do so much pink because we still need room. Let's put some there and maybe just a little bit under that cloud. Then it is, let me just check, pink, orange. And then we can go through our oranges to get to the yellows. So just normal orange pencil, PC 918, over the pink. This technique probably would have been done justice on a bit more of a page that had more sky. But anyways, I really wanted to do it and I thought it would look good, so. The next one is yellowed orange. I'll put a little bit of that over there. Again, we've not got a lot of room to work with. And then we've got room over here, just very, very slightly. Then we've got the sunburst yellow, and I am running out of room now. And finally the canary yellow, right at the bottom. So these colours do kind of start to blend a bit with the clouds, but hopefully I can come back in and like redefine them a little bit. Skin tone set's not available at all. Just ordered Polychromos light beige and what arrived was beige red. Light beige, beige red. Yeah, maybe so. I know that they had some name changes because they used to have light flesh, medium flesh, and they got rid of that and then changed some of the names. But I don't know why they change light beige to beige red. I've no idea. I'm not really good at keeping up with all this different stuff going on, am I? Right, okay, so now that I've got the colours sort of mapped out and I'm not going to have to worry about doing too much of a certain colour, we can go in and put the pressure on. So, just check my notes again. Yeah, okay, so Imperial Violet. Now we can really start to build up the colour on this. So you can put a couple of layers of this down and then use a blender pencil to flatten the tooth and really mush the colours together if you wanted. I sometimes use blender pencils, but I do prefer to use the actual pencil itself with a kind of heavy burnishing technique if I can. It's just my preferred way of doing things, and it keeps the vibrancy of the colour. You don't end up with any sort of weird speckles. I am just going to keep it light right up against the clouds though, where we left that gap, because I feel like I remember we have to do a bit of blending with the white there to get that smooth glow effect. So I will keep that quite light. But as for the top section, I'm really going quite hard now. Oh, gone over the line. Really going quite hard now to get that vibrancy of colour. Hi, Eileen. Hi, Lisa. Lisa went swimming. Oh, fantastic. I can't swim. Fun fact. Thank you so much. It does look good so far. It will look even better when I've burnished it all up. Beige red used to be light flesh. Yeah, that sounds right. My phone's falling over. There we go. So I've got to remember that we're blending into the Blue Violet Lake. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit lighter down here as well. But this cardstock that I'm using, the Nina Bristol Vellum, does have quite a lot of tooth to it. So it allows for lots of layers, but at the same time, it takes a lot to sort of flatten it all down. But use whatever you're comfortable with, any kind of blending material, a blender pencil, go for it. I just like to use the pencils themselves. Okay, next colour, Blue Violet Lake, 1079. And again, we're sort of starting from the midpoint and blending that transition line together, which is like super easy with Prismacolors because they sort of blend themselves. They mush together really, really nicely. Whereas, you know, if you were using a harder pencil, an oil-based pencil, you would definitely need to work a little bit harder with light layers in order to get the smoothness of the blend. It can be done, and it's done beautifully with oil pencils, but it's just working a little bit harder, I think. So I'm coming down here again with the Blue Violet Lake, leaving those little gaps up against the clouds. There's only light tones, not dark tones, when I'm searching, not coming up on Amazon. It's weird. I'm sure I've heard something, like I say, about certain sets not being available. I think it was Cobra, though, that I heard about. Derwent Coloursoft do a skin tone set, but for a budget-friendly option, Crayola do a skin tone set. Yeah, that's right. Is it Colours of the World or something they're called? Tried Zest It for the first time on my current whip. I was so nervous, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it might be. Yeah, it is quite easy, isn't it? Using the liquid blenders like that, like odorless mineral spirits. They're great to use. Did you just paint them on, or did you use a paper stump? Like, how did you apply them? Is that Rosie I hear? Yes. She's like a blooming guinea pig, isn't she? She's so loud. And she's what? I don't know. 10, 15 feet from me. That's how loud she is. So I'll just bring this a little bit in here. And then again, up against the bottom of this cloud, leaving that little gap. On my Amazon app, they are still showing as temporarily out of stock. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with those Black Widow pencils then. Is using marker for skin tone way darker than using a pencil? Wonder if one gives you a stronger tone than the other. Seems a pencil would give you more control than markers. Yeah, I think generally wet medias tend to be darker, don't they? Just because of how because they're wet and they're going onto paper, but then they can dry really light. So if you're sort of proficient with alcohol markers, you should be able to create a beautiful skin tone blend, because of course they blend absolutely seamlessly, alcohol-based pens. So I've done it a couple of times. I don't know what I prefer. Obviously, alcohol markers are definitely loads faster of a medium than pencils are. It really depends on your preferences, to be honest, but both pencils and alcohol markers can get a lovely result. Water-based markers, no. You're not going to have a lot of luck trying to create smooth gradients or anything with water-based markers. Unless maybe it was on a really slick surface, but then it wouldn't lay down properly. Painted it on with a little paintbrush. Oh yeah, that's exactly how I do it. And then have you noticed that after you've done that and the layer's drying, when you colour over the top, it feels so lovely and creamy, and it sort of changes consistency and makes you feel like you've got a better surface to blend on top of, as well as like beforehand, if that makes sense. Don't forget this bit over here. And this little bit as well. Put a little bit of that blue just there. Next colour is the lilac. So I'm bringing that down, but I'm not kind of going too far with it because we've got about 6 more colours that we need to make sure we get in there. So have to add some extra pencils. Don't think I put enough pigment. Yeah, that's definitely a point, is putting enough layers down in the first place to be able to blend it. Same as when you use a blender pencil, you can't really just put one light layer down and then blender pencil it and expect it like to be perfect. You have to put a few layers down before you go in with the blender pencil. That's, I guess it's almost final. I think it depends really. It depends about the tooth of your paper, but it is more of a final step, your blender pencil. But it's the same, I guess, with the odourless mineral spirits and the zest it as well. It's going to need some pigment there to make sure that you've got the vibrancy of the colour that you want. Okay, so that's almost all of the lilac bits. Next colour's pink. All good practice. Exactly. You've got to like try all different methods and see what works for you. Because especially with blending solutions, I've had a lot of comments from people in the past telling me, oh, there's a fly, telling me that I'm doing it wrong, because you're only supposed to use a very small amount and you're supposed to wait for it to dry, and I do neither. I use loads of the stuff and I don't wait for it to dry. I colour on top of it as it's drying, and I find it's just an absolutely gorgeous surface to go on top with more layers of pencil, and it feels like your pencil is softer. I guess it's softening up the actual core of the pencil that you're working with, which might not be a good thing, but it's how you do it, isn't it? There's no right or wrong way. I mean, you see famous artists just grabbing hold of paint and splashing it, and that's not the way that you're meant to paint, right? But they make an awful lot of money on it. So I think it's just finding what works. Did you pick your nail polish to match the picture on purpose or just a coincidence? I'll tell you why I picked this. I might have told you the other week, actually. I went down to the cemetery to redo some of the gold lettering on an old family grave that was really, really faded. You couldn't read it barely. So I took some gold Arteza paint down with me, the acrylic. So hopefully that will like last out in the weather for a while. and I spent about 3 hours doing that, and it looks absolutely gorgeous now, and it's really like eye-catching. But I got loads of acrylic paint all over my fingers, and I thought, well, actually that looks quite nice. And I thought, next time I go and get my nails done, I'm going to go for a gold. But they have started sort of chipping a little bit right at the edge, like not the actual nail, but the polish is chipping a little bit, but only on my right hand, which I guess I use more because I'm right-handed. But yeah, they put like it was almost a clear sort of pinkish nail polish underneath, and then they put the gold on with a powder. So this is some sort of powder that stuck to the top, and it just became this absolutely gorgeous metallic gold that I was after. So that's how I came up with the idea for gold. Some pink under here, which will blend nicely into the orange. What else has happened this week apart from the Northern Lights? Oh, did anybody watch the baby reindeer interview on Piers Morgan's YouTube channel? That would be quite interesting to talk about. Don't know whether anyone's seen that. Pink over here. Next colour's orange. So we're going to blend the orange in with the pink. So I suppose the good thing about this background is that there isn't much of it. So we don't need to take too long doing it. I mean, what is it? Well, it's been an hour now, so that is pretty long, but anyhow. Why is it called Baby Reindeer? Have you seen it? I'm assuming you haven't, because it's explained in there that it was, because it's about this guy that was stalked by a woman for a number of years, and she called him her baby reindeer, and that's where the names come from. There's a video of someone studying her body language. That would be interesting, Jenny, because even though I'm not an expert on body language by any means, I picked up on a few things, lots and lots of blinking at certain times and shaking her head when she was saying yes and things like that. So I definitely know where they're coming from. Next colour is yellowed orange. The thing is about the whole baby reindeer thing, and he said this himself, the guy who wrote it, is that he was not innocent in this. You know, it wasn't your typical villain and victim type situation where Martha was concerned, the lady. He kind of encouraged it at times, and, you know, he might have, like I say, encouraged it, let things go on for too long. And he's open about that. So I found it was a really interesting sort of study into humans and how we're all really flawed, and things are never cut and dry and black and white. You know, you can't say he was completely innocent in this and she was completely this villain. Do you know what I mean? It was interesting. Next colour is Sunburst Yellow, and I'm just checking that I've got all of the right areas here with the colour, because I'm losing track with the clouds being orange as well. I reckon that might be it, you know. Where did I put the canary yellow? I must have put it under here, I think. A little bit there. But again, it's really blended into the clouds here. On Alice's Kit and Clouder's original tutorial, these clouds were separated, whereas Hannah's clouds are kind of bundled together in areas. So I'm finding it difficult to differentiate with what's what. I think maybe what I'll do is just come in here with a bit of pink as well, just to show that it's not part of the clouds, this one. And maybe just No, I think I'll leave it with the pink because we've got the lilac further up. So canary yellow is the final colour, making sure that's all coloured in. Have I got all the gaps? I think so. Okay, so a little bit of yellowed orange into some of these gaps between the other colours and the clouds. So a little bit of yellowed orange just on the top of the pink there, maybe on here on the top of the lilac. Yeah, just that little bit will do. And then the white pencil on those little 2mm gaps that we left, we're going to use the white to blend. I'm just going to sharpen it a sec. Oh, thanks, Amy. And then we're going to blend those little gaps so that it hopefully looks like it's a bit more of a glow effect. I've got a Kitten Card subscription but never seem to sit down to do a tutorial. I know, that's the thing. I wish I had more time to do the things I want to do, and I'd love to do all of her classes. Just fantastic. Just want to apply the ideas straight to the colouring page. Exactly. That's why I thought, oh, this would be a fantastic one. You know, with it being quite mythical, ancient Greece, that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess it's not really that mythical, but I don't know. I just had that idea in my head to do a bit of a fantasy background with lots of different colours. So I thought that one would work perfectly. Not sure where Barbara is, so I'll mention for everyone to give this thumbs up. Thank you, Jenny. I think, because I think last week Barbara was in Disneyland, if I remember correctly. So maybe she's still there. I'm not sure. But hello to Barbara, if you're watching back. We do miss you. Oh. So just filling in all of those gaps with the white pencil, give it that little bit of glow. And over here as well. Is that all of it? A bit here, down here with the orange. I guess anywhere that a cloud meets a colour of the sky, you could do a little bit of this white. Do a little bit of this white blend in. By her elbow is a spot. What, here? I think that's actually a cloud all of itself, because there's quite a big clump of cloud here that Hannah's put in. And then just very carefully, I'm going to bring back the Blue Violet Lake and do a very slight, very light little bit of a layer over the top of the edge of that white that we put down, because the white itself was starting to look a bit too harsh of a line. So it's just about reapplying the colour until it's as smooth as you can get it or you want it. And hopefully you can see that that's created a glow effect around the cloud. It might not be super obvious, it's quite subtle. Okay. So that's basically the technique. What I think I'll do to add into it is put some white pen around the edges of the clouds. So I've got my white Posca. And I think I'll just do a few little bits. I might not do the whole lot, but then again I might. This is just me sort of picking little bits out. Oh, you can see the glow effect, that's great. Just picking little bits out of the clouds, going over some of the lines that Hannah drew in to try and make it look slightly more natural. The Posca is out. This is where I hold my breath. Exactly, because you know I'll go too far with it. I think this technique, like I said, would have worked better if the clouds were more separated and we had a bit more area to do the colours in the background, because I think the oranges and the yellows are a little bit mixing in with the clouds down here. And I'm just thinking, if possible, if I can just go over this orange with the pink, just so that we can see that there is, you know, a definite line between the clouds and the sky. It's quite difficult because I have, of course, burnished it now. I'll just give it a go. I think it was here, wasn't it? So if I just bring some of that pink down a little bit further, hopefully that looks more like it's the sky. I agree, bigger clouds will be better. My middle page is all muddled. What, you mean the middle of the illustration? Yeah, I think I would probably, looking back on this, yeah, Jeanette's just said, I wonder if you didn't go all the way to yellow. That would be best, really, is to maybe make your purples, your lilac, your pink go the whole way. So only go to your pinks, don't go into your oranges. I think that would probably be the best bet. But again, I was just kind of doing this off the cuff with no practice. So we learn, don't we? We learn what we could have done better. And again, it's different colouring pages, different illustrations. You're probably going to have to think more about how the technique would suit the page. I think the white pen on some of the outlines is helping to separate the clouds from the colour a little bit more. Exactly, you live and you learn. Let's see if I can erase a little bit of the layers on this, just to make it, I mean, Prisma's are rubbish at erasing, but I'm going to give it a go. I'll probably end up ripping the paper. Just want to erase some of the top layers of this so that I can dive back in with the pink. that's better. I might just do that, a little bit of that. Slightly further up as well. Posca would look great on a sky with lightning flashing. Yeah, it would. Did anybody get lightning? We got it on Sunday night, I think. There was no thunder, there was no rain. It was just lightning and the whole sky lit up pink. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just attempting to remove some pigment. I tell you what would be good for this, a kneaded eraser. But I'm just using a little one off the back of a pencil. I guess this is why you should do layers slowly so that you can rectify mistakes like this easier. I just tend to go whole hog. I feel like I could probably scrape this off with a knife. And get my little knife out. Just very lightly scrape these bits of wax off. Trying not to scrape the actual paper. And then I'll fill it in with pink. We had thunder and ridiculously heavy rain and hail. The storm drain at the bottom of our street collapsed. Oh my goodness. We didn't get any of the heavy rains. We've had a lot of rain today, but not super heavy and no storm. So it's been really muggy because we've not had a storm to clear the air. So it's still warm, it still feels close and clammy, but it's been raining and overcast all day. I think that's helped a bit, just bringing the pink a bit further down. Might just attempt to layer in a little bit more lilac to compensate. And I'll zoom out in a sec so that you can see the whole thing. Not related to your skin tones. How are you finding your Holbeins? Did you order them by any chance from Discovery Japan? No, I didn't. I got them from eBay years ago. I was in my old house then. It's a really long time ago. And there was an eBay seller in Japan. So I'm not sure about Discovery Japan. Are they just a Japanese online retailer? But yeah, the Holbeins are lovely pencils, definitely. I don't use them enough. You know, I've spent money on them and I don't use them enough. That's why on these lives, I'm trying to do a mixture of what kind of media that we use. You know, so we started off with small victories, didn't we? And that was polychromos. Then we did the Holbeins in the Kirby book. And now we're doing Prismas. And next time we'll do something else. Let's bring that pink down here as well, don't I? Thank you, Jeanette. Rescued. Yana loves their Holbeins. Jackson's in the UK doing them. They had £40 off the other day. That's good, Claire. I know that Jackson's do, or they did, the open stock Holbeins. I'm not sure that they do them anymore. So I'm just fiddling about with this background now, trying to get it as smooth as I can now that I had to scrape wax away. Obviously, if you're watching this back later and you want to do this project and you haven't started it yet, take the advice and bring the pinks and the purples a little bit further down. And then hopefully you should get more of a difference between the clouds and the sky. Don't think I can add any more pigment over the top of that pink. I'm pushing it now. Just bring the lilac down a little bit. Probably not even visible on camera. Just come in with the Posca again on the little bits that have scratched off. Pretty sure that I'm done with the sky now. Yeah. Saw them. Oh, they do open stocks. Open stock. Never would have thought of the knife. Well, Jeanette, the wax was just getting like, so I was trying to erase it, but it was just clumping up, the wax itself. So I thought I need to scrape this with something. If you don't want to use the knife, you could use a really sharp colourless blender, because that won't add anything to the page, but the sharpness of it will enable you to scrape it off. After the 150 set, no pre-order option. Huh. So they still do the sets, but you can't pre-order them. Have they been on sale for a while then and they've sold out, or? I'm not entirely sure about that. Right, I'm going to zoom you out so that we can see the whole thing. I'm going to turn the light off because I don't know how it's going to look natural light way. But I'll just wait for it to come up on my screen and then I can see. I always catch you from it. Oh, my little sister's on again. Oh, Butterflies just said, will you show us what it looks like in natural light? This is as best as I can show you because it is getting a bit dark now outside. But yeah, let me see how that looks because it's just come up on my screen. I need to take my yellow filter off so I can see better. Oh yeah, that looks great. Next door's dog's barking. That's pretty nice, I think. What do you reckon? I think once everything else is done, obviously, it's going to look better. And we've got such small gaps to play with. It maybe wasn't the best idea to do on this particular illustration, but it's done now and it doesn't look too bad at all. And I think the clouds and the glowiness worked better than I thought it would. So yeah, it's all right. I'm switching the light back on now, but you can see the olive tone of the skin. It looks yellow in the light, but it is olive. Right, so we've got to think about the toga. So for this, I've even done a little bit of a mock-up on the iPad. Let me see if I can find it on my photos. Here we go. This is the mock-up that I did on my iPad. So you see we've got the blendy background, and then I was thinking about this kind of caramel brown for the hair. This sort of similar to the eyes. And then the toga, I thought we would have a gold piece that goes across and the rest of it white, because I thought all of it white might just look a bit boring. So we have a gold piece that goes down between the white, and that's as far as I got on it. You can see that I've tried to do the pillars, and I was adding bits of blue, slate blue and greys to see what that would look like, but I've not made my mind up fully on the pillars yet. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do, you know, with the picture. Hopefully you like that. Right, so gold. Need to think about gold now. So let's see. I do have a gold, I'm sure I've got a gold combo for Christmas. I don't know if I've wrote it down or what. Let me have a look. This is quite goldy. I could probably replace the cream and the jasmine with a bit of yellow to make it more of a yellow gold. Because I want it to be different to the skin. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be a more yellowish gold so that it doesn't end up looking as brown as the skin does. So we've got that differentiation there. I mean, I could even use gold paint. What would you think? But then I wouldn't be able to get the shadows and things. It would just be flat gold paint. Well, it wouldn't be flat, it'd be metallic, but you know what I'm saying, there'd be no shadows. Is the image on your cell the inspo from Kit & Clowder? Right, let me try and find the Kit & Clowder picture because I've saved that to my phone as well. Here we are. Here we are. So this is the original Kit & Clowder. I'm sure it's called Hula Girl, but I've tried typing it in and it's not coming up. So maybe it's got a slightly different title. But this is what Alice did, and you can see it just looks like so much better. But that was the effect that I was going for. A sunset, the kind of little bits of reflection on the clouds, which maybe I haven't blended out quite enough because the orange does look quite harsh on mine. But this is what I was going for, and this is the original Kit & Clowder. So when I've got the link for the actual class, I will put it in the description. I'll try and look for that straight after the live. Didn't realise the other part wasn't part of the DSS. Android. I'm trying to figure out your message. In all purple with a gold belt. Oh, you did yours in all purple with a gold belt. I see. Okay, I think I've caught up on the comments. So for gold, let's go with light umber, the goldenrod, possibly the yellow ochre, and then in with, not canary yellow, maybe deco yellow or lemon yellow. Let's give that a go. So what did I want? Light umber. Try and find my browns. Just going through my spares at the moment. Light umber, there we are. And then goldenrod. Where's my goldenrod? There we go. And then I said a bit of ochre, didn't I? Yellow ochre. Have I got one of them here? Oh, I've just chucked a pencil on the floor. Is it yellow ochre? Yes, it is. Yellow ochre, and then like a lemon yellow or maybe a deco yellow. Lemon yellow might be too bright. Let's try the deco. Right, I'm going to do a bit of a test for this. So we've got light umber PC941. Then the goldenrod. Very quick rudimentary blend here. I'm not trying to make it seamless. Then the yellow ochre. And then the deco yellow. That's pretty nice, but is it different enough to the skin? I think so. I think if I do my white gel pen bits, you know, and make it look shiny, like it's a metallic fabric or silk fabric, that will help as well to differentiate it from the skin. So let's go with that for now then. Zoom you in again. I'm just concentrating on the dress, the toga this time. I'm going to give these pencils a quick sharpen, so mind your ears. Just going to reload the video because I'm not seeing comments again. Right, and then one more to sharpen. Right, okay, so just check my photos again. Yeah, So I'm going to do all the darker bits of gold on the left-hand sides of the creases. That will make more sense in a minute when I start. So using the light umber, I'm going to start going right up against the left-hand side of every crease that you see across this part of the toga. So the left-hand side of this. Electric sharpener is, oh, it's this one. It's called 10 Win, and it's got a really big sharpening receptacle. I've not had to empty this for ages. You can get it from Amazon. Amy went down the kitten clouder rabbit hole. I am not apologising. I don't mind enabling you or recommending people that are genuinely like amazing, and her classes are incredible. So I'm following all of these lines down, but I'm keeping to this side, if you know what I mean, because I want to make it look quite shiny. So we're going to need areas of dark and areas of light. Yes, dress is purple with a gold belt. Couldn't figure out how to separate the colour of the dress from the columns. Yeah, good point as well. Because, you know, if you are doing white columns and you've got a white toga, that's what you could struggle with. And I was thinking about that. That's why I was kind of adding in bits of blue to the stone, because I thought we've got the white toga here and it's just going to be a little bit samey, I suppose. Subscribe to Kitten Clouder for a year now. I just buy classes with elements that I love. Alice is quite a wonderful teacher. She is, she really is. And she talks to you about like the therapy side of it as well. I believe she's an art therapist. And, you know, just kind of relaxing into it, having little breaks, comfort breaks, and not worrying too much about getting the same effect down as her. You know, it's not about that. It's not trying to be as good as Alice. Because like I said, like mine isn't. But that's fine. You know, we've taken inspiration from her. And I think that's all she really wants. That's kind of the point of it, is that you learn techniques from her that you can then apply to different pages with different colour schemes. But the general technique is there. There just went my colouring budget. Yeah, like you had a budget, Amy. Does it matter if the blade of the electric sharpener is elliptical or straight? Elliptical is always best, I find. And bring this up from this edge as well. She is great with techniques. Yeah, she is. She's amazing. My lovely hubby bought me the white one. Thought I would love it, but it ate one of my derwents. Oh my goodness. That's surprising. I wonder if it is, if the white one is not as good then for some reason as the black one. I don't know. I don't have that one. So we're keeping our curves at the bottom really nice and curved. We're not doing any kind of straight, harsh lines. I do also want to leave a bit of lighter area of pigment so that we can definitely blend that goldenrod in as well. Do you know a marbling technique I can use for the columns? Oh, marbling technique. That would be nice. Never thought of that. How would we create the look of marble? Would we have to do greys and creams as like a base colour, and then maybe like some darker grey to create cracks, or larger areas like patchy marble? That's an idea. Don't know if I can pull it off, but it's a good idea. It's the lie that I tell my husband. Oh, that's really weird. Sorry that happened, Jeanette. It's crap, isn't it, when a sharpener does that? Usually the electric ones are really, really good. I wonder if you got a defective one somehow. Yeah, marbling. I wonder if we can do it. Right, so that bit of the toga is going to be white, so I'm not going to go over that with the light umber. But we're also going to have some of this gold coming down through this bit of the toga as well. Just referring back to my little iPad picture that I mocked up, we want to put some umber down here. So going from the cork in this little bottle of oil, we're going up that line there. If you are following along with me, that's where we're starting with this, because this bit will also be white. But yeah, because we've got a lot of brown on this, haven't we, on the main subject. Obviously there's a lot of olivey brown tones in the skin. We're going to be doing brown hair. We've got the brown of the gold in the toga. I'm just hoping that she won't sort of fade away with brown. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering how we can... It might turn out fine. It's just that usually I'd be doing like bright pink clothes or red hair or something, you know. But this one is a little bit more subtle, I suppose. But I am just trying to keep it to, you know, the kind of original colours that a Grecian lady might wear. The gold and the white toga, the brown hair. Oh my gosh, it was the Chinese white. Oh no. That's awful. That's a brilliant pencil though, isn't it? Did you manage to get a chance to play with it before it? This class is called On Vacation. Thank you so much, Claire. So if you're wanting to look for that kitten clouder background that I've been doing today, On Vacation is the name of the class. Thank you so much for finding that. I never would have remembered that's what it was called, because I thought it was called Hula Girl for some reason. Maybe that's what it's called on the video tutorial. So we've got about half an hour left. I at least want to get the gold of this toga done before we finish up. Two versions, one that sharpens up to 12mm and it has auto stop, and one 8mm and auto stop is not mentioned. I guess you've got to really look then at the actual product that you're buying, because they can be very sneaky, can't they, with how they word things. And you think you're getting a certain thing and then you're not. Hello, Catherine. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? Is Kitten Clouder a monthly paid thing or per class? So it's either. It is a monthly subscription. I think it's like £10 or £15 a month. That's in British pounds. And you get one class, one main class, and then one bonus class every month. Or you can like look at her catalogue on the website, and she's got back classes. What's the word I'm looking for? Old classes, the back catalogue of classes that you can buy individually. So it's totally up to you. I don't know as if every class that she does on the subscription is available as an old class. I think some of them you just have that one chance to get them on the subscription, and that's that. But it's definitely worth doing. I mean, just, you know, just sitting with her. And also she offers you personal one-to-one guidance. So if you've got any problems like trying to colour a certain thing that she's teaching you on the tutorial and you really need a little bit of extra help, she'll personally guide you through it. You know, I think it's email, I'm not sure. I've not used that before, but I know that she does it. And that's fantastic, isn't it? Just having someone on hand there to help you. I found it tricky to cancel the monthly subscription when I wanted a break. You can sign up by PayPal and come back out and do it. So can you not cancel it by just emailing Alice? I'm not sure either. Archive, there you go, Kenny. Yeah, I'm sure if you emailed Alice, she could do that. But then, yeah, I know what you mean about having to try and stop recurring payments on PayPal, because I've had problems with that before as well. They don't make it easy, you know, to figure out how to do it. But I've stopped and started with Kitten Clouder a couple of times, you know, with different finances and things like that. So it should, in theory, be quite easy to do that. Just emailed Alice. She was lovely. Yeah, she is. She's lovely. Lovely lady. And so talented. I believe that the money is also raised for a cause as well, the subscription money. Something to do with art therapy, but I can't remember exactly what, but there is definitely charity involved there. So that's even better. Did use the Chinese white, the bit I rescued, and love it. We'll order another. I'm so sorry that happened. That's awful. The Chinese white is lovely. I'm going very slow with this, I realise. It's because I'm trying to talk and colour at the same time, so I need to speed up a little bit. Did I put that bit gold on the picture? Yes, this whole area is now gold. If you remember, you have access to a wider range of classes to purchase through an exclusive shop. Good to know, Lisa, thank you. She's got some great classes though. She's got like, this is becoming like an advert and it's totally not, but she's just brilliant. She's got like water and different skies and fur, animal fur, she's fantastic at. And also some of her, all of her tutorials, I think, she does one in marker, one in pencil. So if you use alcohol markers and you'd rather have that, there's a class, you know, option for that. Or if you predominantly use pencils, you can do that, or you can have like both classes sent to you, I think. I think the updated version, it's opaque, and the older version, the container is transparent all round, both white and black too. Too many options. Yeah, the sharpener, you mean, yeah. She's got great bundles for elements, skin, hair, fur, shiny. Yeah, she's really made a really good job of her business and her website, you know. Everything's clear and categorized, and her videos are really well done, you know. All her marketing and things. She releases classes each month and you can get the pencil or marker version or both. And if you stay on for the following month, you get a free bonus class pencil. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you basically get 2 classes a month if you sign up for the subscription. I'd love to be able to do that though. Can you imagine if that was your full-time job, just doing colouring tutorials? That'd be amazing. And also the whole giving to charity as well. It's fantastic. Is that all the umber bits? I hope so. I might just do a little bit between these elements at the bottom. You can see what I'm doing. Because that would be in shadow anyway, wouldn't it? There's a video by Leslie Michaels I found on YouTube on how to marble. Ooh, I'm definitely going to watch that. Because that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? For the pillars. Be perfect. Right, I think that's all of the light umber areas. Next colour's goldenrod. So we are trying to make this look like shiny gold silk material, I guess. So goldenrod up against the light umber. And just staying to the one side all the time, it enables you to have those areas of shadow and then the highlighted areas as well. So with fabrics, just kind of follow the line that's been put in and stick to one side of it, and then you should end up with something that looks shiny. Oh, no worries, Serena. Sometimes I find that as well if I'm watching people's live streams, is I don't realise that I'm a bit behind. So I am going over the light umber with this goldenrod, but I'm also thickening it up a little bit so that it's got its own place as well in the blend. Again, just keeping those curves nice. I think it was a good idea to put a lot of colours in the sky though, because like I said, we've got an awful lot of brown earth tones on the main subject, you know, so I think having the colour in the background was necessary, you know, so that it doesn't just kind of look a bit too earthy. You know, we've got those fantasy colours going on in the sky. I think it will help it, you know, help lend itself to the illustration as a whole. Don't know how long they've had the Holbeins in stock, but currently they only have the 115 wooden cases. I don't know if I was aware they had Holbein in wooden cases. Maybe I was, I can't remember. The wooden case ones are always so much more expensive. I know it's a wooden case, I get why, but surely there shouldn't be that much of a discrepancy with a wooden case, you know, between the prices. Have emailed them to see if they release a pre-order option. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully they will. The Holbeins are a bit of a hybrid. I mean, all pencils are, to be fair. All pencils have got a bit of oil and a bit of wax. It just depends on the levels of each as to what they are predominantly. So these are predominantly wax. The Holbeins feel somewhere in the middle of a wax and an oil. I feel like they've got a bit more of a balance with the two binders. So that's not really helpful, is it? But if you just try and think of something that's in the middle of a Prisma and a poly, maybe slightly leaning towards the poly. That's where the Holbein would be, I think. It's so difficult to describe how a pencil feels, because you really only know when you pick one up and try it for yourself. It's one of those things, isn't it? Oh, thank you, Serena. I do try. Yeah, definitely, Lisa. Definitely try the open stock. That's what I say to everyone about any coloured pencil. I don't care if it's the most expensive pencil on the market. I would say try your open stock first. It doesn't necessarily mean just because it costs a lot of money that you're going to get on with it. You know, there's some pencils like Crayolas and stuff that people absolutely love using, and they're so cheap. So really, it is definitely a personal preference thing when it comes to pencils. Might be good to use Crayola or something more, you know, something on the cheaper end in the next video that we do. In fact, I could even use the pencils that Sarah sent me from the works, because they're kind of a budget pencil. But then I don't know how easy they are to buy worldwide. It might just be a UK only shop thing. So maybe not, but I will definitely review them. If you don't mind, how much were they when you bought them? Oh, wow. Let me think. I think it was over 300. I think. That was years ago, though. I don't know if they've got cheaper since. because I also had import fees as well from Japan. I remember having to pay like 50 quid in import fees. But yeah, definitely over 3. How much are they now? Hi Nicole. They are cheaper than now. How much are they? Jackson's are about 245. Oh, okay, so they are cheaper now. I see. I still don't know though. You know, like looking back on the money that's spent on the Holbeins, I think, gosh, that was a crazy amount of money to spend on a set of pencils. And they're not magic pencils. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing outstanding about them. I guess the pastel colours are like the main thing, but you can buy them separately. Like the barrels and stuff, they're really nicely made. You know, they're not cheaply made, you can tell. But are they worth that much money? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know what's the light fast like with them. I think they've got the little asterisk stars on them for light fastness, but I don't know how they were tested for light fastness. Was it the blue wall scale? Was it the ASTM? I don't know. Whereas, you know, if you bought like the Caran d'Ache Luminance or the Derwent Lightfast, you know that they have been properly rigorously tested, and that is why, for the most part, they cost as much as they do. As for the Holbeins, I don't know about that. I can't remember if I read about it in the leaflet that came with the pencils, which I don't have anymore. So I don't know. I find it a struggle to think that a set of 150 pencils are worth, what did you say, 288? Nah. The Arteza pencils. Have Arteza like gone quiet? Because I never hear anything new coming from them anymore. Like any new products or anything. And yeah, I think I was looking once for a set of the Arteza Premium, what are they called? Arteza Expert pencils, and I couldn't find them. So maybe they've gone out of production. But yeah, Arteza were absolutely everywhere at one point, weren't they? And then I've not heard nothing for ages. Yeah, it seems that they've discontinued them. For what reason, I don't know, because they were really popular. I know loads of people bought the Arteza. That's why I did the chart for them. Talking of charts, it's very soon that I'll be receiving my 150 set of the Derwent Chromaflow to review. And I'm thinking about making a Chromaflow Prismacolor conversion chart, because they were kind of made as Derwent's answer to Prismacolor. So that would be the closest comparison, I think, colour-wise, that I could do. So would you be interested in me doing a Chromaflow to Prismacolor conversion chart? Because I quite enjoy doing that. I'm sure somebody's already done one already, but it's you know, something that you might want. Arteza experts have been taken off the market. They're trying to find a new producer. Oh, thank you for the info, Catherine. That makes sense. Catherine, for those that don't know, is the Charisma Colour Queen. She's got so many Charisma Colour pencils. It's unreal. I think you must have like 98% of the world's Charisma Colour pencils in your possession. Very, very lucky lady. Oh, okay, so people are wanting the chart. That's fantastic. Yeah, I quite enjoy doing that. Seeing how they compare to Prismacolor in that, you know, in the colour sense. Right, I think that's all the golden rub. I've missed a bit there, haven't I? Right, next colour's yellow ochre. We've got 15 minutes. I'm going to try and fit these last 2 colours in. Saw people asking Derwent about the new 50. So they're going to be having the open stock, and so far it's a no. That's what I'm hearing as well. And I'm going to put it to Derwent myself, actually, because I want to find out what they're saying from the horse's mouth, you know, because there's so much stuff flying about with these 50 extra chroma flows and whether or not they're going to be accessed open stock. But if I find that they're definitely not going to be open stock, those final 50, that will really be a point that's going to come up in my review. Definitely a negative point, because who would want to buy a 150 pencil set and then not be able to replace 50 of the pencils without buying another whole set? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. The only thing I can think is that Derwent are trying to scope the market and see whether there's enough interest to make it worthwhile producing these pencils as open stock, because maybe there's costs involved that we don't know about. You know, I'm not going to profess to know the ins and outs of a business that makes pencils. That could be why. I would love to know the actual reason, and I'm going to put that to Derwent myself and I'll let you know. Crook of her hip for goldenrod. Where have I missed? Where have I missed? Oh, there. Ah, eagle eyes. I've tried my own family colour chart with the Pablos and can't figure it out even when I watched your video. If I had them still, I would do you a colour chart, but I don't have the pencils. So this is yellow ochre, by the way. I don't know whether I mentioned that. I've been gabbing too much to remember what I've said. So this is definitely more of an orangey gold. That's what I wanted, I think, to differentiate from the greenish gold of the skin. I need to focus on Percy, Persephone. You name this picture. Great name, Persephone. That's a Greek god, right? No, a Greek, not a god. Is she a god? No. She's the one that Hades took to the underworld, right? With the pomegranate. So as you can see, this technique's so easy. I'm literally just thickening the lines that I've made every time. So I've started off with really narrow lines of the darkest colour, and I'm slowly thickening them. And that's how we're getting this gold tone. It will start to look a bit more gold when we put the final colour on. And also when we put the white pen on as well to get that shine. Yeah, she's a goddess, daughter of Demeter and wife of Hades. Yeah, I didn't know whether she was a goddess or not, but yeah, I remember the Hades. Claire, do you think you'll give the Pablos another go? I think if I had the money to buy a whole set again, I would definitely be interested in testing them out, knowing what I know now about different paper, and how to handle different types of pencils. But I can't justify spending all that money on a set that I might not like still. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't like them before, and I just can't. I can't spend that money and then not know whether I like them or not. Do you know what I'm saying? Love the effect of the sweeping pencil. Wouldn't have thought to do this. Oh, good. I'm glad that you're learning something. I never know whether these lives or tutorials are things that people just know. Do you know what I mean? I always think they're that simple, these colouring techniques that I do. Are they like too simple? Are people like, you know, it's almost patronising how simple they are? But I do have people tell me that they really enjoy the simplicity of the tutorials, which is great because that's what I was going for. There's too much art on the internet that's too airy-fairy and artsy-fartsy. Do you know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Serena. I am enjoying doing them. It's just that they creep up on me. I can't believe... how many weeks have I been doing this now? Did I start in March? Well, we've had the whole of April. And we're well into May. It just feels like it's gone so quick, don't you think, since we started? But I've already got like 3 pictures completed, have I? Yeah, because we did the Galaxy White Lines one. That was a quick one. Too intimidating, but your tutorials aren't. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I'm going for. Amy's never participated in a live tutorial. Oh, I didn't even think about this being a tutorial, to be honest, but I suppose it is. Because I have done fabric tutorials before with this exact same principle. Somewhere on the channel years ago. So all I've done is started with a thin line and thickened it, leaving white obviously for the highlight, but that's it. Start with your dark colour, be quite conservative with it, keep it, you know, scaled back, don't do too much of your dark colour. They do sell open stock, kidding. Yeah, but if I did if I was going to do a chart for everyone, which I'd be more than happy to do, like a family chart, I would need the lot, wouldn't I? And it's like, nah, I don't know. I just can't justify it. Maybe one day if I see a full set that's like a really, really good deal, maybe a second-hand one or something, that I think I can justify spending that, then I would. Because I would like to, you know, if it's that chart that you want, and I have had it requested a few times, then that's what I like to do. I like to try and do what the viewers want. Do you know what I mean? Maybe too much so sometimes. But that's big for me. It's a big thing to be able to contribute to the community. Oh, thank you, Nicole. What's the matter? Have you been a bit poorly? I know a few people have been poorly at the moment. I don't know if it's the change in the weather and the atmosphere and stuff, you know. We've gone on to Deco Yellow now, by the way. And I am thickening the line again, but I'm going to leave white, because I always do. And it will help with the shiny look. So don't fill everything in with the Deco Yellow, because that will make it look really flat. So I've still got a couple of millimetres white. What about if someone lent you their Pablos to try again? You could do a chart. That'd be a good idea, actually. If I knew anybody that would do that. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Would you consider doing a live using Inktense? Oh, no, Lisa. I'm scared of Inktense. Like, I need to watch more videos on how to use them, because every time I use them, you know, with them being permanent, there's no leeway. And like, they're absolutely gorgeous. Like, how pigmented are those pencils? You need the slightest bit and then water on them and it's like, wow. But at the same time, I'm like really scared because I can't rework them and I end up with a mess. I just need to figure out how to use them properly. 225 is the cheapest. Oh my goodness, no. Absolutely not. Nicole, monthly issues. Oh, Nicole. That happens to me every month, and I know how awful it is. I'm guessing you're talking about pain. Have you tried a TENS machine? Because it was recommended to me, a neighbour recommended it, and I was one of these, was like, oh, it's another recommendation of something it's never going to be as good as taking ibuprofen. Do you know what I mean? And I was really, really cynical about it. But you know what? I've not had to take an ibuprofen for, let me think, 11 months, because my TENS machine is absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't got one of them, get one. It's almost like, I always say I've got my electrocutions on, but it's not. Oh, talking of electrocutions, a little bug got zapped then. Did you hear it? What was I saying? Yeah, I always say that, but it's not like electrocution, obviously. It's almost like you're giving yourself a different kind of pain that masks the period pain, but the pain that you get from the TENS machine is so much easier to cope with than the period pain. And it really, really does work. Amy's got a TENS unit. You can get them so cheap. They're like 20 quid, maybe even less on Amazon. Lots and lots of light layers with the Inktense, that's a good tip. Right, let's get this yellow on quick sharp. Oh, TENS machine, that's it, TENS. I tell you what, let me get you a link for the one I've got. I don't like to see anybody struggling when I can help. Let me see, TENS machine. Can't find the one I bought now. Let me go on my orders. Orders. Come on, TENS. Ah, here we go. So, let me get the link. Oh, it's not giving me the link now. Copy. Paste. Paste. Right, that's the machine that I've got. And then the pads for it, the spare pads are really expensive. So I'll send you a link for some cheaper ones that work with it. And you get quite a few for a cheaper price than the official ones, but they work perfectly. So that was the machine, and this is the spare pads. Amy uses them for chronic tension headaches. They're fantastic. My husband had a kidney stone, and anybody that's had one will know how horrific the pain is. And we put the TENS machine on maximum on that, and it really, really helped with the pain. And also, I think it might have contributed to actually breaking the stone down, because by the time he got to the hospital, it you know, broke down. So, and gone through the tube or whatever it goes through, you know, the kidney stone. Right, have I finished with this yellow? I think so. So I'm going to grab the white pencil, give it a sharpen 1 second. And with the white pencil, we're just going to go into the white and make it smooth, like we did with the clouds, you know, the middle of the clouds. So we're smoothing out the white, and that will also help to get that look of it being a shiny, silky material. You might need to clean off your white a couple of times so you don't drag pigment. Just going to drag that bit up there though. Let's do it down here. And then we're going to come back in and redo our black outlines, because you can see the white and the other colours have gone over those outlines a little bit too much, and we need to redo those. So that is the basics of the gold material. I mean, I could probably blend these a lot better. I can see harsh lines with the light umber and the goldenrod. So, you know, if you're doing this and you've got more time, definitely work a little bit harder on the blends. The more seamless you can get it, the more it's going to look like silky fabric. But I'm going to use a bit of Posca. Where do I want to use the Posca actually? And maybe just up against some of the darker lines a little bit. I don't know, maybe not actually. I'm just going to go in for the kill. Do a few of these little curved areas. Yeah, that's not too bad. Don't go overboard, she says. Nicole's learning with the Inktense. Who's awesome? Shanna Jackson. Right, I'm going to look for her videos then, because I definitely need some help with the Inktense. Let's have a little curvy bit there as well. So I'm just doing this wherever, you know, there's never any rhyme or reason to where I put white. I just tend to put it everywhere, but it works. And sort of broken lines as well, you know. Don't do too many full lines. Oh, that one went wrong. Oh, it's because I'm rushing, you know. Need to just slow down. already been blended there. Let me just blend that in. Any more for any more? Can you hear Rosie again?
It's 9 anyway.
Say?
It's gone 9 o'clock.
I know, I'm finishing now. Right, okay. There we go. So that's what we've done today. If I turn the light off, it might be a bit too dark for you to see the colours properly. But that's what we've done. And next time I'm going to come and start with the rest of the toga. So we're going to do this white. That means we'll be using greys to make it look white with shadows. Then I think we'll do the hair. And I'm going to leave the pillars for a little longer because I need to think a bit more about that. But yeah, I really, really hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. I'm just looking on my camera now. You can't really see the colours too well. Yeah, I'll put the light back on for a bit. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me once again on a Tuesday. It does come around really quick, doesn't it? And I hope you've enjoyed the different things that we've done tonight. So next Tuesday, oh my gosh, it's nearly the end of May. Next Tuesday, we'll do those bits that I said, and maybe another 2 lives, and we'll have done this picture, I think, at least 2. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a great week, and I will see you next week on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, as always. Have a good one. Bye.